On dark, quiet nights, in remote areas of the Irish countryside, rides a horseman. This horseman, however, is no man at all, but one of the most dreaded fairies in Irish lore. He is a headless horseman, and indeed far more fearsome than anything that roamed the roads of Sleepy Hollow, as imagined by Washington Irving. Please join me to discover the Dullahan as we look under the veil. The Dullahan embodies the Celtic god Tuoonotl. He rides out on Irish feast days. He is portrayed wearing a long black cloak and riding a black horse, or driving a black carriage led by 6 black horses. They ride so fast and so fiercely that fire emanates from their nostrils and hooves. Often it is told that the carriage is made of tombstones and coffins and bones. He uses a human spine as a whip. The horseman does not carry a jack-o'-lantern aloft, as we become accustomed to watching Disney cartoons as children. Instead, the Dullahan raises his own severed, rotting head into the air, his mouth a sick smile, his eyes filled with hellish fire, darting around in search of new victims. The head glows with a supernatural light, a grotesque lantern to light his way. The Dullahan's sole pursuit is to take human lives. He has paranormal vision that can see for miles through the darkest night and the thickest fog to detect his prize. Anyone foolish enough to try watching the Dark Horseman on his progress will be rewarded for that disrespect with a bucket of blood in the face or being struck blind in one eye with his whip. One would think with his head being severed, he wouldn't have the power of speech. This is mostly true. He can only speak once per villainous ride, and only when he stops to call the name of the next victim. When that person's soul hears their name called, it is pulled away from the body. There have been many Dullahan sightings throughout the years. One storyteller from the county down, W.J. Fitzpatrick, relates his tale. I seen the Dullahan myself.
Stopping on the brow of the hill between Bryansford and Moneyscalp late one evening, just as the sun was setting. It was completely headless, but it held up its own head in its hand, and I heard it call out a name. I put my hand across my ears in case the name was my own, so I couldn't hear what it said. When I looked again, it was gone. But shortly afterwards, there was a bad car accident on that very hill, and a young man was killed. It'd been his name that the Dullahan was calling.
The Dullahan is nigh unstoppable. Locked gates and doors open before him. One thing may save you. Here's a story from the County Galway. A man was on his way home one night between Roundstone and Ballyconley. It was just getting dark, and all of a sudden he heard the sound of horses' hooves pounding along the road behind him. Looking around, he saw the Dullahan on his charger, hurtling towards him at a fair speed. With a loud shout, he made to run, but the thing came after him, gaining on him all the time. In truth, it would have overtaken him and carried him away had he not dropped a gold-headed pin from the folds of his shirt on the road behind him. There was a roar in the air above him, and when he looked again, the Dullahan was gone. So if you find yourself venturing out on Irish feast days, make sure to listen well and try not to look. Maybe keep a gold earring or bracelet in your pocket. It may save your sight or your very life. I want to thank you so much for joining me on our first trip under the veil. If you enjoy spooky things like this, or disasters, or true crime, please make sure to subscribe and ring the notification bell to know when the next journey will begin. Thank you so much, friends. Good night.
Dullahan, Dullahan, your terror I shun. With black cape and heart, you're the devil's own son. Don't speak my name or my life will be done. Dullahan, Dullahan, I see you and I run.